Welcome to the channel, friends. So today's video is going to be covering the install of the C6 InfiRai taillights and comparing them to my Eagle Eye taillights that I have on the car right now. They're going to be installed on a C6 ZR1, and I'll be talking about how they kind of compare to what's available today when it comes to Eagle Eye taillights or Morimotos, which come in their version 1 or version 2. These InfiRai taillights actually kind of almost mimic the Morimoto version 2 that are out, in the way that there's also a backup reverse light feature on the inside of the halo here. There's like a little white ring, if you can see that, and that's going to illuminate your reverse lights when you activate your reverse lights. So there's all sorts of options with the InfiRai. As you can see, there's like 3 switches back here. There's 2 wires. The yellow wire is used for Euro cars, so would not use that with the US spec. The white wire is to activate the reverse lights, so that white halo on the inside here. I may go ahead and hook this up because I want to see how that works. Right here is your standard connector that you're just going to unplug from your factory side and plug these back in. Very simple install. As you can see, very flexible when it comes to options. This has a sequential, non-sequential, and then also has the switch here, the bottom one, that's your amber or red halo. So that's going to be quite interesting because the Morimoto does not offer this. You get everything else pretty much besides the option of going amber or red. Alright, moving along, let's take a look at what's included in the box. The box itself is very well packaged. It's double wrapped on the lens, so it's protected really well. I bought these from Vet Lights, and they included some freebies like sunglasses and a lanyard. These are the tap connectors for the reverse lights, and you also get these reflectors that would be installed in the center here if you would like them in that fashion, I guess. I guess maybe for a European requirement or whatever. But really quick, the overall looks of this thing is very similar to the Morimoto, but the halo is kind of offset. So if you don't know already, these InfiRai taillights are known for their mirror-like appearance on the interior, which creates this like infinite halo going towards the center of the light once you look at it. I guess it's really cool in person, so that's why I bought them. I wanted to try it out and see what it looks like in my car, because it's definitely different as comparison to Eagle Eye taillights or the Morimoto V2s. But there is a mirror on the inside here, and that produces that infinite ring kind of illusion that you'll see. As well as they got the same profile, like recessed profile, as the Morimotos, as you can see. They're not radiused like a stock lens. They got that recess in them. So let's go take a look at the car, and I'll show you the Eagle Eye taillights that I have on there right now. And then I'll start the install process. Alright, let's take a look at the Eagle Eye taillights on here. So the ones I have are smoked out, so what I had to do is actually spray them with nightshades to make them darker, because I hate the look of the bright red and the overly bright LEDs on the Eagle Eye taillights. They're just too bright if you just leave them the way they are out of the box. But these look good overall, so I'll show you. I have a sequential turned on for them, and as you can see, they're good looking taillights. The only kind of thing that bothers me about them is that I don't like how each LED is separated. You see how you can see each individual LED? It kind of looks a little off to me. I would prefer a solid LED, and to me, that I think that will look better. So that's why I went and tried out these InfiRai taillights and see how they do. Also, when you start to break away from the center of the taillight, you completely lose the illumination of the Eagle Eye taillights, as you can see, because the LEDs are recessed. The LEDs are so recessed that once you break over, like you get in at an extreme angle, you can't even see them anymore. It doesn't even look like it's lit up. Even at nighttime, it's hard to see them from an angle on the side. So as long as you're like relatively behind the car, you can see them illuminated. But once you get to an extreme angle, they completely disappear. I also have the LED strip side markers as well. So let me go ahead and install the InfiRai on one side of the car, and I'll keep the Eagle Eye taillights on the other, so you can see a good comparison of what they look like. Alright, and another thing I want to mention is that there's another option right now, and they are the InfiRai taillights, which are very similar to the Morimotos in a way. They have a solid halo, but they still kind of suffer from the same LED separation issue, like, you know, kind of dot style LED as these Eagle Eye taillights when you hit the brakes. So they look good when running lights are on, but then as soon as you hit the brakes, they kind of have the individual LEDs kind of like projecting, which I don't like. So that's the reason why I kind of didn't go with the InfiRai, but that's also another option out today in 2024. So let me go ahead and install the InfiRai on one side, and let's go from there. So this here, these extra connections are for the sequential for the Eagle Eye taillights. So there's a little module I have attached in the back here. I'm going to leave it for now, but I'm just going to disconnect the actual Eagle Eye taillight and just get it out of the way and install the new InfiRai, or InfiRai, however you want to say it. So these are marked on the back side, right hand side, so just make sure you get the correct side. I'm going to fish in that wire for the reverse light, and then just hook up the OEM connection. These connectors get really dirty from all the dust blown up into the bumper, so just take your time and be careful with these. If they're jammed full of dust, they will be hard to separate and to click back into place. All right, just like that, I just swapped out two of the taillights, and it was a very simple process, less than 5 minutes. And now I'm going to go ahead and wire up that reverse light wire and get that taken care of, and then let's take a look at what these guys look like. All right, so I want to show you first how I wired up the reverse lights. And it's pretty simple as I try to do this with one hand. All right, so this is kind of a mess right now, but I'm going to clean this up, obviously, with some zip ties. But right here, there's a clip that's attached to the side of the bumper. So this wire here, this harness, has a green wire in it. So as you can see right there, let's see if you can see that. But there was a green wire in that harness right by this opening. Tap into that green wire. So I tapped into it with one lead of the white wire, and then what I did was I daisy chained this light here off of this white wire, so you don't have to tap it in twice there in this location. You only tap it once, and then you tap it once on here. You just piggyback off the most outer light. And what I did was these snap connectors are kind of loose when you try to snap it into a wire this thin. So I added another wire in there to compress it more to get a good connection. I typically don't like using these connections because they can be finicky. But I'm going to try this out and see how it goes. So I daisy chained this inner light off the outer light to make it simple, but the connection is going to be on the harness right here, located on that clip. So you're going to have that green wire. And it's the same thing for the other side. So once you locate that green wire, you're good to go. You have the reverse lights. All right, so let's take a look at the reverse lights, all hooked up on one side, and also display the startup sequence for these new InfiRai lights. All right, so as you can see, the reverse lights, that inner white ring is all lit up, and it's doing a pretty good job of producing extra light for backup. And as you can see, there's also a sequence, a startup sequence involved with the lights on the right, which are the InfiRai. On the left-hand side, we just have our basic eagle eye taillights with sequential module. And let's take a look closer up. So the color of the ring changes when you activate the reverse lights. It kind of goes from red to like a really light orange. But you can see it does produce extra light, and it looks really good actually, and it's pretty bright. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. And as you saw right there, the sequence, it goes from like red to orange, and then it goes into the reverse lights. Kind of does the sweep, which is pretty nice. It's definitely different, you know. It's definitely brighter, it's different, and so far I'm liking it. The eagle eye taillights, as you can see, still look good. They're kind of dim in comparison to the InfiRai. So if that's your thing, you know, it all depends on what you want. But you get the idea. It's something new to try out. I'm kind of liking this new look here, and I'm going to give it a go. I don't know if you can see that infinite ring being produced by the mirror that's on the inside of these taillights. There we go. You can really see it there. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and now swap out the eagle eyes for the InfiRai and get it all said and done, get it all cleaned up and zip tied, and then I'll show you the final results with, you know, startup, signals, and as well as hazards and things like that, and show you the different options. All right, so this is to simulate basically your hazards and your turn signals. I'm just going to cycle through the switches here and show you the different settings. So there we have sequential with orange or amber. That looks pretty good. Really different look over the standard red sequential. Now let's go with a solid orange or amber. So as you can see, you can really kind of customize the way you want it to look. You could have amber, red, sequential, non-sequential. It all depends on what you want. I'm actually going to leave it solid, I think, and on the red color. So that's what that looks like. Let me go ahead and switch out the eagle eye ones and show you what they all look like with the InfiRai together. Alright, so one minor issue when it comes to these like tap connectors. They absolutely suck ass. Don't use them because they worked for a little bit, then I went to, cinch up the car, and they compressed so much that they became loose, and there was not a good connection anymore, and then the reverse lights wouldn't work. And then I tested it with a multimeter, and sure enough, it was the tap on the car side that wasn't making a connection on either side. So these things are complete pieces of shit. Don't use them. They're just not the right size that they give you, and they're complete pieces of shit. So I went ahead, I'm going to solder in a lead with a proper crimped in connection here, so it's a solid connection. There's not going to be any funny business. It's not going to come undone with vibration and come loose. So I'm going to solder that in and continue on and show you guys the final result. Alright, so that there is the startup sequence when you hit unlock and lock, and then unlock again. And it gives you that startup kind of like sequential illumination, and then it goes right to the reverse lights. So let's go ahead and operate the hazards to simulate a flasher situation or hazards and see what that looks like. So that there is a sequential red color, and it looks pretty damn good to me. It's kind of tough to decide whether you want solid or sequential, but that's up to you, obviously. It's a preference on the person installing them and the owner of the car. So I'm going to go ahead and switch them on to solid to show you guys what it looks like. And there you have it, all solid. I think it looks good either way, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it with the solid and not the sequential. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, please place them right down below. But thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.